said that you was leaving. Now why would you wanna do that for, baby? 'Cause if it's your
over breakfast about all things that have gone on here, and somebody brought up a really interesting point that they wonder if the reason why Hawaii has become so liberal and there hasn't been this charge of people that are pursuing information is because traditionally people that have lived on this island have always been ruled by a king and a queen. And when I think about liberals and I think about Democrats, I think of their policies. It's like, do what I say because I said so, and there's no logic that follows it. Vote for me because you're black and because I said so. Right? You're not, as a Hispanic person, allowed to be anything but a Democrat because I said so, right? But if you actually look at their policies, it makes no sense. And so what they were, suggesting to me is that Hawaii suffers from the fact that they are so used to being ruled by a monarchy, and that's why I wanted to come here to remind you guys that you no longer live in a monarchy. The past does not matter, the future does. You are one of the 50 states of the greatest country in the entire world. It's time to get involved, it's time to listen to the policies, and it's time to understand, question, I guess, your allegiance to a party that certainly has not served you whatsoever. Period. That's why we're here.
So I would like to posit that perhaps America is becoming more and more racist. And here's my theory on that. I went to college and I became an elementary school teacher. And at that time, we weren't allowed to teach phonics because it was all about a different method. And we also were not allowed to know how smart the kids in our class were. We weren't allowed to know anything about them because they didn't want us auto-suggesting anything. So I'd like to just say that if you're married and you're telling your husband 24/7, you're having an affair on me, I know you are, or you're telling him, you're telling your kids, oh, you're a stupid idiot. That's something you don't do, because they're going to start to believe they're a stupid idiot. They're going to say, I'm not stepping out on you, but I may as well be. I think that the climate of constantly accusing people of being something is messing with their heads.
Well,
yes.
It
And it needs to stop.
I don't think it makes people racist, but I think it makes them dig their heels in. What I mean by that is, when we started the pro-2A argument, and now I know people that I'm following on Instagram that were conservatives that never used to post things of them shooting at the range, but because somebody is telling them they're not allowed to shoot at the range, it makes them go ahead and do that. Now, I've been obviously in a lot of conservative circles. Racism is a very strong word. Nobody's racist. They welcome black people. They actually celebrate, oh my God, my brother has woken up and understood that all we've been trying to do is fight for you guys, and we keep being accused of racism. I would argue that the same group of people that were racist in this country are still the racists, and I believe firmly that the Democrats and their belief that they own minorities, right? They don't believe that minorities are with them. They believe that they own minorities, and you can just see that by Googling my name. Google the things that are written about me, because I think that black people can do it without handouts. I'm actually, if you really look at it objectively, I might be the most pro-black person in America right now, right? I stand on the platform every day and I say, you don't need the government, we don't need the government, we need less government.
Yes.
We need to talk about bringing the fathers back into the home.
Yes.
Right? And that's the number one thing.
Yes.
And what do they do in response to that? What does CNN do? They write hit pieces on me. They say, don't even listen to her, she's anti-black. They're up there debating. They encourage Antifa, a white liberal gang, to come attack and accost us wherever we are, because they don't want the message to get out that black people have the right to believe that they can do it, that black people can do it without government handouts, because that's what they always wanted. They wanted to grow government. Me and Charlie believe that in many ways the reason why you see the stigmatization of God even, right? They're constantly making jokes about God or Jesus Christ, and all of a sudden being religious is seen as something weird. It's because in many ways the government wants to replace God.
Yes. 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 That's their agenda.
There was a time, my grandfather was very pious. We read the Bible every morning, right? And they want people to say, don't turn to God when you have a problem. Turn to us and we'll fix it. We'll give you more, we'll give you more. But in reality, as government grows, the individual gets smaller. And that's something that needs to be disrupted immediately. And fortunately, we have a president that's willing to do it and take the bullets from the media while he's doing it.
Yes.
Thank you. What's your name?
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead. Stand up.
okay. Hi, I'm Nolan. Kind of two quick questions. Why do people think Trump is racist, and why do you think he's not racist?
Because the media selectively edits his clips, and people normally don't go to actually hear him speak. They selectively edit me all the time, so I know how it works. They think he's racist because he says the truth. Let's try this, ready? Black people, what do you have to lose? The answer was absolutely fucking nothing. We had nothing to lose. We lost everything by voting Democrat over the last 60 years. We lost everything. Our families have been destroyed. Our communities have been decimated. Cities that were once flourishing, black cities that were once flourishing, like Philadelphia, Detroit, Chicago, right, now have 71 people being shot every weekend. All of the wealth was taken out of those cities, and now 80% of the country's wealth is concentrated to D.C. Think about what I just said. 80% of the country's wealth is concentrated to D.C. How the hell is that possible? I'll tell you how it's possible. It's just taking money from all of us and giving it to themselves. You have Maxine Waters out there saying he's racist, 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 because that's what she's paid to do. So it's a $6 million house outside of her district and pretends that she understands what black people are going through. She doesn't remember what black people are going through at all because they pay her to be a puppet. When they call me an Uncle Tom. They call me a coon because I'm out here telling black people the truth. Which is that we've been lied to, we've been duped, and in many ways, we've been duped by our own people that are in the White House.
Yes.
In the White House, that are in D.C., the black caucus that sits, right, when unemployment is announced as an all-time low for the black community, but stand when Barack Obama, and they applaud when he announces more food stamps. Government dependency is what they have been selling. The government has acted as a drug dealer would to the black community.
Yes.
And because Trump had the balls to stand on stage and say, what do you have to lose, they want to peg him as a racist.
And one of the biggest things of evil the left has ever done to this country is they cheapen evil. There are true racists out there. There's not one in the White House. There are real Nazis, all 15 of them in America. But when you call the president or even try to have him in the same sentence as people that are actually racist, as people that are actually Nazis, you know who gets happy? The Nazis. Because when everyone's a Nazi, no one is. When everyone's a racist, no one is. They cheapen and dilute evil. And it is an insult to every person that lived through the Holocaust to say that this president is anywhere even in the ecosystem of a Nazi or a racist.
It's disgusting, first off.
He was revered in the black community before he ran for president. He was given awards for his civil rights work. He was given concerts and venues by people all throughout the African American community saying, we love Donald Trump. The minute he went down the escalator and challenged the Democrat status quo, he became a racist. But if he would have ran as a Democrat and said everything he would have said, they said he's a great uniter and healer. Because for Democrats, it's all about power.
Right.
And they saw him as a threat to their political power because racism is used as a weapon against the black community to get them to kill.
Call what it is. He threatened to free the slaves, right? And the Democrats is basically a plantation right now, and most people don't even know that they've been mentally enslaved. They have no idea they've been mentally enslaved, right? So when he challenged that authority, when he said, I'm going to give power back to the people, I'm going to disrupt this, I'm going to shrink the size of government, right? I'm going to slash regulations, thereby making, I think, 400% increase in black businesses being started since he stepped into office because there's not regulations stopping us anymore. We're going after the American dream. I'm not offended when Trump says make America great again. There is nothing more American than being black. I've been in this country, we've been in this country. Germans, you were here before the Jewish people got here. I don't know why any black person would be offended when he says, make America great again. Because when he says that, I'm like, damn right, Mr. President, let's make America great again.
Yes.
I think we have to move on to a Prove Me Wrong event. But we're going to be taking questions for hours. But does anyone want one final disagreement question? Only disagreement. We can hear about agreement all day long. We got that. You disagree with something?
Hawaii has one of the highest inflation rates here. Can you explain Donald Trump's plan as far as the trade wars?
Oh, so funny. We're actually going to have an agreement with you. I like that you dispute this because someone explained to me. So I actually really support everything that he's doing in terms of tariffs and saying like make the businesses at home. But I was ignorant about how making the businesses at home actually negatively impacts Hawaii because obviously you guys are the anomaly in that you guys are in the middle of the ocean and you are charged more because you have to get it from California. Yeah, so I actually I agree for the 49 states, but I disagree with him when it comes to Hawaii, so it's something that's in the back of my head that I want to bring up to him.
And that's a tax on consumers. It's a tax on consumers to keep raising the price of cheese or grocery or eggs or milk.
Yeah,
it's
you guys are in a unique
It's a tax on
situation.
poor people.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think we have to move on.
Yeah, but
so
thank
just
you for
in
bringing it up.
closing, I'm going to say, look, be thankful you live in this country.
Woo!
Stop complaining. If you're angry that you live here, just reconsider the blessing that God has given you. You have the freedom, the capacity, and if you believe in yourself, anything is possible in this great country. It is not someone else's fault that you're not succeeding. And Candace and I are going to continue to bring this message to campuses all across this country, but make no mistake, we have a once-in-a-generation president, if not a once-in-American history president, that is fighting people in both parties to restore the greatness that this country once had. And we could not be more honored to be a small part in the fight. Candace?
Thank you guys so much. First time in Hawaii.
Can
We'll
I make a
definitely do that.
No, thank you.
What's your name? Brando's by my cousin. So nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yo, we're gonna keep moving on picture time right to the next event, okay?
Tag me on Insta. Okay. Absolutely.
Candace, Charlie, I wanted you guys to meet Ron Curtis.
Nice to see you. Nominated, I think it's amazing for this whole great. How are you feeling?
Excuse me, you're so tall. May I take a picture with you? Thank you.
Candace, we have to get moving. We have to keep moving.
Oh, amazing. Congrats.
Grab my hand.
I'll get a picture with you. Oh yeah, perfect.
And here we are tonight down at the Republican Party, and here's Cam Cavazzo and his beautiful wife, Tula. Did you want to say anything about the race for the people at home?
Oh, yeah. This race is about balance in Hawaii. We're bringing home the balance. Let's send a Republican Congress and get some representation that really helps our state.
Awesome. We'll catch more, and I'm going to interview you guys. You can talk more in detail about it.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Well, it's my new friend Kevin Jordan discussing about how we can bring high tech here to help improve the economy of Hawaii. He's got some really good ideas, and I'm taking notes and I'm bringing it back to our campaign.
Awesome. So nice to meet you, Kevin, and thank you for sharing and helping this, all happen. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Major force that has made America great. In the 19th century, Hawaii became part of that greatness when it modeled its own constitution after that of the United States. In fact, at the very beginning of the Hawaii Constitution of 1840, the 14th Amendment of the United States echoes strongly as it states that all people are equal and should have equal opportunity. The Hawaiian Constitution begins with these words: God hath made all people from one blood to live in pleasantness and harmony together. That's the Aloha spirit. Before we begin our informal portion of the program tonight, I'd like to give you an official ode, which is a chant of welcome in ancient Hawaiian protocol. Would you all please close your eyes for a moment? Imagine that we are back 300 years. The islands are different, and yet the spirit is the same. You are arriving, your ancestors are arriving, and as they arrive, they're greeted by a protocol, a chanter, that sends forth the message that all people are welcome in these islands. All people can strive and prosper. This is the Oli of the Lord. Oh, It doesn't matter where you come from, near or far. We are all together. We are all Hawaiian in this place. Oh, taku no ia, e ano ide li ane ho'i o ka hiki mai. Ah, hiki mai no oto, ah, hiki puno me ke aloha. Aloha e, aloha e. Say it with me, please. Aloha, aloha. We are all Hawaiian and American. Proud to be Hawaiian, proud to be American. God bless you, and God bless the USA. Aloha.
For their hard work on behalf of our party in Hawaii. We are honored to stand with you as you unite the Hawaii Republican Party and get more Republicans elected to office. Ahead of November, you are recruiting new Republican candidates, energizing your grassroots, and training volunteers to spread our message. This activism is critical for our party and President Trump's agenda. I am thrilled to join you in support of our candidates and our core principles. Thank you for your dedication to our party and your hard work to make Hawaii paradise again. God bless you and God bless the United States of America.
Thank you for everything you do for the Republican Party. We hope that you enjoy your Constitution Day dinner. We are excited to work with you in the months ahead to elect Republicans into office. Your activism plays such an important role in the growing of the Republican Party in Hawaii, and it also is an important way to support President Trump and his agenda. We need you to continue to make your voices heard. Let's finish this year strong, and together, let's win in November. God bless you, the state of Hawaii, and the United States of America.
For all we're doing. They know that we have a tough road to go. They are very aware of the challenges that we have in Hawaii, but they can see the differences that we're making. And as those of you who have been active in the party this past year, you've been the beneficiary of their investment in the Hawaii Republican Party by training and tools, technology, and resources. We have been fully supported by our Republican National Committee. So I wanted to make sure you do this.
Such an honor. My friend Shirley Kirk, who you're going to hear from in a few minutes, and I came a long way. We came all the way from the East Coast, so it's a long trip to come here. And I want to tell you why we came. We came partly because we wanted to see this beautiful state, but more importantly, we're here on a mission. We believe that this November, we are going to see one of the biggest red waves you ever saw in this country, and it's going to hit Hawaii. And we are going to elect, we're going to make a pact tonight, right, that we are going to elect the first Republican governor of Hawaii in how many years? 20 years. So we're going to win. We're all going to make a pact. We're going to fight like that. Now look, people always ask me, what is the lesson of the 2016 election? And I started working for Donald Trump back in, gosh, I think it was November of 2015. So I remember when I first started working for Trump, people laughed. People said that there was no way that Donald Trump could win. I remember one commentator on MSNBC said it was more likely that a meteor would hit the White House than that Donald Trump would enter the White House. All of these kind of predictions were made about Donald Trump. And I got to tell you something, by the way. November 6, 2016, please don't tell me my wife I said that might have been the best night of my life. That was incredible. But here's the amazing thing that I want to tell you. What is the lesson of Donald Trump's victory? And there's a lesson here for all of us, no matter what walk of life you're in, whether you're in science or whether you're in politics or sports or finance or business. It's a really important one. It has a lot of relevance to why we're here, trying to understand. You and I came here because we think we can turn this state red, and it's about time. But here's the thing. You say, no, it's impossible. It can't happen. What Donald Trump has proven proven to us all is that sometimes in life, and much, much more often than you think, the experts are completely wrong. And they are wrong about Hawaii. And by the way, I think the turning point was this disgraceful act that's happening with our great Supreme Court nominee. We got to throw right back in the face of the liberals and say we're not going to tolerate this any longer, right? So this is such an important moment. Let me tell you something about Donald Trump, by the way. I enjoyed the previous comments about Donald Trump. This is a man who is really an incredible. I've been around politicians my whole life. Most politicians, I don't want to say this with any disrespect to the politicians in this room. You know, most politicians are kind of wonderful people in public in terms of private. Donald Trump is sometimes a jerk in public, but he's a wonderful person in private. I mean, he's one of the nicest people who've ever going to be gracious. I really come to so admire this man. And you know, I remember one of my favorite moments. Can I just share a couple of quick stories about the campaign? My favorite moment, two quick stories about Donald Trump. The first one is kind of fun. You know, the first time I started traveling with Donald Trump, and you know, we were on his plane and so on, and I thought this is going to be so cool. And I mean, the first time he asked me if I could travel with him, we went to Detroit, Michigan for an economic speech he was giving, and I thought, oh, this is going to be so cool. I could be on the plane with Donald Trump, you know, his plane, you know, his own private plane and all this stuff. I thought this is so great because Donald Trump is a billionaire, right? And I'm going to be able to have, you know, we're going to go on that plane and we're going to have caviar, and we're going to have champagne, and we're going to have lobster and all this stuff, you know, because he's a billionaire. And I'll never forget, you know, he's traveling all over the place. You get really hungry because you go from one event to another. You never had time to eat, right? It was just the only time you ever had any time to eat was when you got on the plane. And I'll never, every single time I traveled with Donald Trump, the cuisine was always the same. And I'm not making a shot. Every single trip we took, it was McDonald's Big Macs for lunch and Domino's Pizza for dinner. This is a man of the people, right? This is a man of the people. It was just so funny. Donald Trump, I'm letting you in on a little secret. Donald Trump loves fast food. He loves it. But my favorite story is this. With about 3 or 4 weeks to go in the election, they sent me to Ohio, which, as you all know, as Ohio goes, so goes the nation. There was no way the Republicans could possibly win, or Donald Trump could possibly win without winning Ohio. So we spent a lot of time and a lot of money there. It's 3 or 4 weeks before the election, and they sent me to this little, I flew into Dayton, Ohio, and then we drove to this little town that was on the Ohio-Indiana border, so we drove from south and west. I'm a Midwestern boy myself. I'm from Illinois, but I didn't realize, you know, you think of Ohio as being a state with, you know, steel mills and auto plants and so on, but you get outside those cities like Cleveland and Dayton and Toledo, and you're in little rural areas like, you know, little maybe RFD towns, and so we're driving through these towns, meandering around, and the charming little towns, but a lot of these towns didn't even have a McDonald's, and a lot of them didn't have a stoplight, and we're going around, and I'm looking out the window, folks, and all I see is I look out the window, got on the street, Trump, 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 Trump. It was the most amazing thing. And by the way, these weren't even the manufactured signs that the campaign puts out. People would spray paint Trump on pieces of plywood. I remember you go by big barns, people TRUMP got huge letters on the side of the barn. And I called Corey Lewandowski, who of course was the campaign manager, who's going to go down in history, masterminding this great victory. And I'll never forget, I called him and I said, Corey, this is looking awesome. We're in Ohio. We got to win Ohio. And I'm looking out the window, and all I'm seeing is Trump signs everywhere. And as soon as those words are out of my mouth, my driver, Joey, says, hey, Steve, look down the street. And there, about 5 houses down, is one of those big blue Hillary signs. Right? You probably saw a lot of those here in Hawaii. And so I said, I'm sorry, Corey, I may be a little premature. I said, you know, I'm looking at a Hillary sign right now. And we get a little closer, and my driver Joey says, hey, Steve, take a closer look at that sign. You know what it said? Hillary for prison. And that's what I knew we were doing. So, look, now we have this great president in office, and he is transforming our economy in an amazing, amazing way. I saw the president about 3 or 4 weeks ago at the White House. And I had like 2 or 3 minutes to just chat with him, and I hadn't seen him in a while. And I said, you know, he saw me, he's like, Steve, isn't this tax code unbelievable? You know, we spent 2 years working on this tax plan. And I said, Mr. President, this tax plan and your economic program is working better than even we thought it would when we drew it up on the chalkboard 2 years ago. You know what he said to me? He said, Steve, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is the president who believes. So, I want to give you just a 10-minute little economic lesson to give you some evidence of what's happened with this incredible recovery. Can you put the charts up? Okay, so I call this Trumponomics. I have a book coming out next month called Trumponomics: Inside Story of Trump's America First policy. Great stocking stuffer if you want to stimulate the economy. And so it'll be out, but I wanted to give you a sneak preview. Okay. This thing is, okay, sorry. Let's start with this. Why did Trump win? Why were Americans so angry? Why were they so hungry for change? When I used to debate liberal economists, they say, gee, these American people, they don't understand all the wonderful things that Barack Obama has done for our country. Well, you know, if you look at that black line, that's the recovery that we had under Barack Obama. That is the weakest recovery that we have seen since the Great Depression. We had a recovery, but it wasn't much more. By the way, just let me say this as an aside. Did you see what Barack Obama said 2 weeks ago? Did you see Obama trying to take credit for the Trump recovery, Trump economic boom? I was on CNN 2 days ago, and this woman I was on from the Washington Post, she said, this is the Obama effect. The reason the stock market's going through the roof, and we got more jobs than ever before, and we've got 4% growth, she said, this is the Obama effect. And you know what I told her? I said, you are precisely right. This is the Obama effect. It's the effect that Barack Obama is no longer president of the United States. Twice as large, and then look, Reagan, I worship Ronald Reagan. I believe Ronald Reagan belongs on Mount Rushmore. He gave us a real recovery, 36% compared to 15% under Obama. By the way, how many of you in this room, I see some older folks like me with gray hair, how many of you are old enough to remember 20% mortgage interest rates and 15% inflation that we had under Jimmy Carter? You know, Reagan switch back that way. So Reagan came in one of the worst economies ever. And Reagan, remember what Reagan's philosophy was? Do any of you remember the 1980 that debate with Jimmy Carter 1 week before the election? I'll never forget it. I was 19 years old at the time. It's what turned me into a conservative, Charlie, was that debate with Jimmy Carter. And I'll never forget what Ronald Reagan said. He said, remember this one? Government is not the solution, government is the problem. That was Ronald Reagan, right? Government, remember that in Hawaii, right? Government is not the solution to problems, government in Hawaii is the problem. So Reagan cut taxes, cut regulations, got money, inflation under control. What Obama did exactly the opposite, right? Like, by the way, I think Barack Obama was well intended. I think he's a good man. I think he did the best he could. It's just his ideas didn't work, right? We had Obamacare, remember that $800 billion idiotic stimulus plan that was going to create all those jobs? And then we had the tax increase on the rich. We had 3 minimum wage increases. The Fed flooded the economy with cheap dollars, and it gave us the weakest recovery in American history. From that period, when Barack Obama, the last 2 years of Bush, by the way, I noticed the Republican crowd, I gotta say this, the last 2 years of Bush weren't very good either. By the way, can we make a pact as conservatives and Republicans? Never, 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 never again should we ever bail out a company or insurance company or our industry. No more bailouts, right? No more bailouts, right? Never again. Okay. See, that's why the American people were angry. We would have $3 trillion more GDP today if we had had a Reagan-style expansion rather than Obama expansion, and the American people could feel it. Now, I'm going to show you the next one. By the way, I just thought I'd show you this. You see, that's the stock market. You see where the stock market is low point, it goes straight through the roof. That was when Ronald Reagan became president. We had the biggest bull market expansion ever until now. Donald Trump was in office. And then, now people, this is why Barack Obama for liberals to say that somehow this is just a continuation of the Obama policy. Look at this, folks. Look at the blue lines are what was happening under Obama, and the red lines are literally what happened the day after the election. The day after the election. Look at what happened to small business optimism. Look at that. 2 days after the election, it went through the roof, and it hasn't subsided. In fact, it just keeps going up and up. Look at consumer confidence, right through the roof. Look at this is one of my favorite ones. Throughout Barack Obama's entire presidency, only 3 out of 10 Americans rated the economy as good or great. 3 out of 10 Americans rated the economy as good or great. You know what that number is today, according to the latest Pew poll that came out just 2 days ago? 71%, 7 out of 10 Americans rate the economy as good or great. You don't think there's a Trump effect there? It's amazing stuff. Of course, the stock market went through the roof. One of my favorite statistics that we always have to repeat to our liberal friends, the black and Hispanic unemployment rates today are lower than they've ever been since the Beatles were still playing together. That's a pretty amazing thing, right? Our quote racist president has created the best job market for black and Hispanic workers in 50 years. So that's an amazing thing that Trump has accomplished. Incidentally, I'll let you in on another little thing that's kind of interesting. A lot of you probably haven't seen this because this is one of these kind of economic statistics that isn't widely reported. You all know that the economic growth rate in the second quarter was 4.2%. By the way, 4.2%. Barack Obama never in 8 years got to 3%, and we're already at 4.2%. You all want to know what the latest projection is? We've got 2 weeks left in the third quarter. Anybody want to guess what the projection is? According to the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta for the third quarter? 4.5%. 4.5%. Even I didn't think we could get 4.5%. This is another great thing about Donald Trump. I remember when Larry Kudlow and I laid out this economic report. Is it great that Larry Kudlow is the chief economist for Donald Trump? I mean, Larry Kudlow is one of the best economists in the world. Larry was the best man at my wedding, he was my best friend. And he and I used to lay this out and we'd say, not only do you do all these policies, cut regulation, cut taxes, pro-American energy policy, get government off the back of these businesses, get us out of that stupid, idiotic climate change, thing. If you do all these things, we think we can get you to 3 to 4% growth. You know what Trump would say? 5! I want 5% growth! And we're damn near 5% growth under Trump. He surprised even me with his performance. Why is it happening? It didn't happen by accident. It's because ideas have consequences, right? The reason that it's working is because Trump has the right set of ideas. Starting with deregulation, getting the government off the back of businesses. Look at the increase in the regulation under Obama. In Trump's first year, he cut by 1/3 all of the regulations in the Federal Register. That's a big, big deal. I love this. This is Time Magazine's cover. Every time I see this, I laugh out loud. This is Time Magazine back a couple of months ago. The Wrecking Crew, how Trump's cabinet is dismantling government as we know it. They meant this as an insult. This is why we elected the guy, right? Everybody was government What was Trump's closing argument in the election? Remember? Those 3 words? Somebody shouted out, drain the swamp. That's what Trump is doing. He's draining the swamp. He's dismantling government. Incidentally, under Obama, who is going to make everything so wonderful for America, do you know 3 of the 4 wealthiest counties in America are in or around Washington, D.C.? How did that happen? How did that happen? I live in Washington. Tell me if you live in Washington. We don't produce anything. All we produce is lawyers, lobbyists, rules, regulations, and politicians, and we're getting rich off of it. And finally, the American people have figured it out. And that's why Drain the Swamp was such. And all we need is more wrecking balls, right? We need more wrecking balls in Washington to refer the power to the states. I say something about trade. I'm a free trade guy. I think most of you in this room are free trade. Obviously, Hawaii needs to be able to trade with Asia and your neighboring countries around here. But look at this. I mean, Trump, I have to say, sometimes the master, Donald Trump, even taught me something about economics, which is, he used to say to me, when Larry Kudlow would talk about trade, he'd say, I am not a trade protectionist, he would say. I believe in free trade. He would say, thank God. He said, but Larry, Steve, it has to be fair trade, we need a level playing field, and we need reciprocity. And I started looking into this, and he's right about this. Look at this. We have the lowest tariffs of any country in the world. The rest of the countries are not playing by the rules, right? And they are way higher than we are. And Trump basically said we can't live with that any longer. Remember what Donald Trump used to say? The rest of the world is laughing behind our back. And they were. And now we've got an enforcer in the White House who's saying, we're not going to live with this any longer. These other countries are going to have to start lowering their tariffs to have a level playing field. And by the way, so far, ladies and gentlemen, it's working. Did you see just 2 weeks ago, he got a deal with Mexico. And Mexico is going to start playing by the rules. By the way, by getting that deal with Mexico, you notice what Canada is doing? It tightened the screws on Canada. I guarantee you within the next 2 weeks, Trump is going to get a better deal with Canada than we had before. And that's good because they put 200% tariff on our dairy products. The EU, yeah, we're going to get a deal with the EU. Remember, Trump threatened the Europeans with the 25% auto tariff. Now, by the way, I'm not in favor of a 25% auto tariff, but guess what? As soon as he announced that, the EU came hand to Washington and said, we're going to make a deal with you. Guess what country in Europe can't live with the 25% auto tariff? Germany, right? So the Germans said, get Trump to lower that tariff, and he's not going to impose that tariff, but we're going to get lower tariffs. And of course, then China. Now look, I happen to agree with Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump is exactly right about China. China is no longer a friend and an ally. They've become an enemy and an adversary, and we ought to start freedom as such. So Trump is, I think, I predict to you by the end of this year, by the way, China's stock market is down 20% this year. Did you know that? There's disinvestment in China, their economic growth rate is cut in half. I believe that before the end of this year, China is going to come and make major concessions. They're going to stop stealing $300 billion from our technology every year. How many of you with me on this? It's a good thing that Donald Trump is getting very tough with China, right? Trump is pro-American oil and gas. I love this. This is one of the great stories that's going on in America that nobody in the press wants to talk about. For the first time, by the end of Trump's first term in office, 2 years from now, by the way, the economy is strong. 2 years from now, as it is today, Donald Trump is going to win a 40-state landslide re-election race. I guarantee you that. But look at this. Look at what's happening to our production. The blue line is American production of oil and gas through the roof. The red line is our imports. They're shrinking every year. By the time Donald Trump is re-elected president, we will, for the first time in 50 years, be not just, I remember we used to say to Donald Trump, we can make America energy independent. You know what he would say to us? I don't want America to be energy independent. I want America to be energy dominant. And we are going to be the energy dominant country in the world thanks to Trump's pro-American policy. That means lower prices. It means more oil and gas. It means we get rid of these stupid subsidies. It means cleaner air. By the way, people say, oh, well, that's going to mean, that's going to mean dirty air. No! Our air is getting cleaner every single year. Most young people don't know that. Generally, we got to get every young people to understand. The air is cleaner today than it was 50 years ago. Most young people think it is. By the way, Charlie Kirk does a great job. Okay, now, I'm just going to give you Economics 100 with one chart. One chart, okay? You're looking at a satellite photo of the Korean Peninsula. How many of you have seen this before? Raise your hand. Okay, good. Most of you have seen this before. This is the best way that I found to explain to high school and college kids the superiority of free market capitalism over this idiot socialism that Democrats are talking about. Now, what you're looking at, for those of you who have not seen this is about 15 years old. This isn't new. This is a satellite photo over Korea. The white areas are the areas where there are economic activity, where there's vibrancy, where there's electric power use, where you have lights. The black areas are the place at night where it's just in the black. That one little white spot there in North Korea, that's Kim Il-sung's castle. The rest of the place is in the dark. Now, you see the huge white splotch there? What is that? That's Seoul, South Korea. I just got back, I was in Seoul about 6 months ago. Seoul is an amazing city. It's about, it's about 3 or 4 times larger than Boston, Massachusetts. It's bustling with activity. People are happy, they're running around, they're engaged in commerce. It's right on that line. I went to the DMC. It's just a line in the sand. That's all it is. It's just an arbitrary line that they put there in that little wall there. Here's the most amazing thing. So we as economists like to have experiments, right? We want to control through all the other variables to determine why do some places get rich and other places don't get rich. And this is the greatest natural experiment ever. Why? Because North Korea and South Korea, think about this, they are the same in every single way, right? North Korea and South Korea have the same language, they have the same culture, they have the same history, they have the same geography, they have the same, everything is the same about these places, right? The only thing that's different is that line, right? And on one side of that line, by the way, the average South Korean today, after 50 years of being divided, the average South Korean has a living standard that is 6 times higher than the average North Korean. That's amazing, isn't it? And then we have all these big bad professors at universities all around the country who say socialism is superior to capitalism. We've got a lot of kids. What's the poll, Jolie? 51% of college graduates, recent college graduates, think socialism is superior to capitalism. What are we teaching these kids?
Brainwash.
Right? By the way, here's my prescription for this. Any kid who graduates from college and thinks socialism is the way to go, what I propose we do is buy them a one-way ticket to Caracas, Venezuela.
Yeah.
Spend a week in Caracas to see how they like socialism. I want to make this known. This is really important about Hawaii, and I promise I'm coming to the end, but this is so important. There is a big migration that's going on in this country, and it's going from blue states to red states. Red states are getting rich, blue states are being led to death. You can see this in Texas and Florida versus California. New York, Texas, and Florida are red states, California and New York are high tax. Blue states, Texas and Florida have gained 2 million people on net from the rest of the states over the last 10 years. California and New York are losing people. Taxes matter. Taxes matter. If you have high tax rates, people will leave. Now, why is that relevant to you all here in Hawaii? Because every year, as you know, I'll say this to the next governor of the state of Hawaii. Hawaii today, what's your highest tax rate now? 11%. 11%. You're the 3rd highest tax rate in the country. That doesn't work. You can't do that. You can't do that. You're in the group with New Jersey, California, Illinois, and New York. These are states where the politicians don't have their trade tables in the upright locked position. They don't know what they're doing. You don't want to be with New York and California. You want to be with states like Indiana and Arizona and North Carolina and Virginia, states that are growing. Utah. That's where you want to be. Now, here is my proposal. I'm a radical on this, but if you wanted one solution to make Hawaii a high-octane, pro-growth state, this is a radical idea, but I want you to consider this. Let's abolish the state income tax in Hawaii. Let's get rid of the income tax. There are nice states in the United States that have that. You will see so much vibrancy, so many jobs. You won't have homeless people in Hawaii anymore if you get rid of your income tax. So that's a good thing. And then finally, I'm going to stop with this. Trump is engaged in supply-side economics. And is it working or what? This shows the lower tax rates over time lead to more growth. Rate cut the top tax rate from 70 to 28%. Look at that. The red line is the share of taxes paid by the richest 1%. Look at that, folks. You cut tax rates, you got more tax revenues. You get more. Now you don't have to believe me. How about John F. Kennedy? How about John F. Kennedy, a Democrat? 50 years ago, he proposed a big tax cut just as Donald Trump did, and he said it's a paradoxical truth, the tax rates are too high, and tax revenues are too low. The soundest way to raise the revenues in the long term is to cut the rates now. I wish the people of Hawaii understood that. Don't you wish that the people in the legislature of Hawaii understood? If you cut your tax rates, this is my lesson to you, this is my plea to you. Cut your tax rates and you will get more revenues. No question about it. And then let me talk about Trump. And I promise I will end with this because I want to hear what Charlie has to say. And he's got a flight to catch. The black line, this was the chart that we showed Donald Trump that is the heart, is the gemstone of the Trump tax plan. And Larry and I showed this chart to Donald Trump 2 years ago. The black line is the U.S. business tax rate, 40%. Those green pillars that go down, 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 down every year from 1990 to 2017, those are the average tax rates of all the countries that we compete with. China, India, Spain, Italy, Mexico, Australia, Germany. That's the average rate of all the major countries we compete with. And look what's happening there, folks. All of these countries are aggressively cutting their tax rates. Do you think they did that because they love their companies? No. Why did they do it? Because they wanted to steal jobs and factories from the United States of America, right? Again, Trump was right. They were laughing behind their back. And we showed this to Trump. And we said, look, we're at 40%. Now the rest of the world's at 20%. 20%. And he looked at this and we said, this is like a 20% Head Start program for every country we compete with. That's so stupid. It's like putting a 20% tariff on our own goods and services. What country does that to it? It's like economically masochistic, right? And so Trump got it instantly. Now, this is a great Donald Trump story. We show him this chart. He gets it instantly. And I'll never forget, Donald Trump showed him Larry said to him, therefore, Mr. President, Donald, because at that time he was not president, we said, we are going to propose for you a 20% business tax rate in your tax reform plan. And I will never forget it. Donald Trump looked at us and he said, no, that's not what I'm going to do. We're taking it back. We're like, wait, what? Don't you get it? We're at 40, they're at 20. We got to cut our tax rate to 20. And I'll never forget what Donald Trump said to us. I don't want 20. I want 15. I want 15. It was so great. It was so classic Donald Trump. And here's the interesting thing about this, because there's a lesson here about how Donald Trump thinks. So from that day until December 20, 2017, which was the day we finally got the final deal done on the tax plan, Donald Trump never wavered from 15%. Every speech he gave, every talk he gave, every declaration in public or private meetings, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15. He never wavered from that numbers, not once. And I'll never forget, on December 20th, 2 days before we had to pass that tax bill, we're over at the White House, and Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, comes in, and he says to Donald Trump, he's got a kind of grim look on his face, and he says, Mr. President, I have to apologize to you. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to tell you this. I'm just going to have to say it. We've just had a Republican caucus meeting, and I tried everything I could, Mr. President, to get you a 15% business tax rate. But Mr. President, I'm sorry. The best I could do, the best our caucus will do is 20%. Will you take it? He said, I'll take that in an instant. Now, this is why it's so interesting. If you want to understand Donald Trump, you have to read the book, right? What's his book? The Art of the Deal. This is a master negotiator. And I am convinced to this day, Charlie Burke, that if he had started at 20%, we would have ended up with a 25% tax rate. He was brilliant. He 15, 15, 15, and at the last minute he took 20%. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the lowest corporate tax rate of virtually any other country in the world. So many jobs. Awesome thing. And I will stop with one final story. And this one just kind of gets me in the gut. So about 3 weeks ago, I was in Dallas. And I'm on the road all the time. And I'm walking down the street. And this Hispanic woman was walking the other way. And we crossed paths. And she's kind of looking at me as she's looking up at me. And as we go past, she kind of grabs me by the shoulder. And she says, hey, she said, are you that guy I see talking about economics on TV sometime? And I said, no, that wasn't me. That was I don't like to get into arguments with people. It's just, life is too short. I don't want to be berated by people. But I thought, this woman, she seems kind of friendly. So, I said, yes, ma'am, that was probably. She said, you're on CNN. By the way, I'm with fake news. I apologize for that. I'm on CNN now. I can't wait to get back to Fox. But anyway, she said, you're on CNN, aren't you? And I said, yeah. You talk about economics, don't you? Yeah. You worked for Donald Trump, didn't you? Yeah. And she said, and I'm bracing myself, because I think she's going to slug me or something. And I'll never forget this moment. It was one of the great moments of my life. She said, I just want to shake your hand. She said, I just want to shake your hand. I said, wow, okay. She said, this is so great. She said, I did not vote for Donald Trump. I did not vote for him. I did not support him. But she said, I want you to tell the president something. She said, I just got a $1,500 bonus from my employer. She said, the first time in 5 years I will be able to take a vacation. And look, I don't know how much money this woman makes, but she was probably, I bet she makes $30,000, $35,000 a year. She said she was from Guatemala. Nancy Pelosi may think $1,500 is crumbs, but I guarantee you, to middle-class Americans, you put an extra $1,500 or $2,000 into their wallet, that makes a big, big difference. This is a priority. We are a movement about helping not the rich. And look, I want everybody to get rich, but this is now a priority. And Donald Trump cares passionately about middle-class, working-class Americans. America is back on the biggest economic boom you've ever seen, and it's going to last for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 more years. Thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure.